Welcome back to Sleepy Storyteller, your sanctuary for peaceful dreams and gentle wonder. Tonight, we embark on perhaps the most beautiful journey of all, the story of light itself. From the very first spark in the cosmic darkness billions of years ago, to this very moment as photons dance across your eyes. Close your eyes now, settle into comfort, and let us drift together through this luminous tale. Pull your blankets close, let your breathing slow and deepen. Tonight, you are both the storyteller and the story. For you are made of stardust, and the light that will guide our journey tonight has traveled unimaginable distances just to reach you. As we begin, imagine yourself floating gently in the vastness of space and time. We'll travel together through billions of years, witnessing the birth of stars, the formation of our world, and the incredible journey that light takes to reach your eyes. This is a story of connection, of how every photon that has ever touched your skin connects you to the ancient cosmos. Let your mind wander freely as we explore this gentle mystery. There's no need to remember every detail. Simply allow the story to wash over you like warm starlight. And if sleep finds you along the way, know that you are cradled in the same cosmic embrace that has nurtured light itself for eons. So breathe deeply, relax completely, and let us begin this luminous journey together. Chapter 1. The Birth of Light. In the beginning, there was darkness. Not the gentle darkness of a peaceful night, but a profound, complete absence of light. Imagine, if you can, a universe without a single star, without the faintest glimmer. This was our cosmos in its earliest moments, nearly 14 billion years ago. But then, in an instant that defies imagination, came the birth of everything. The Big Bang. A moment so brilliant and powerful that it created not just matter and energy, but space and time themselves. And with that cosmic dawn came the very first light, the first photons ever to exist. These ancient photons, born in temperatures beyond comprehension, began their eternal dance through the universe. They were pure energy, pure light, carrying within them the potential for all the beauty and wonder that would follow. As you rest tonight, imagine these primordial photons as gentle messengers, whispering the secrets of creation across the vast expanse of space. For hundreds of thousands of years, the young universe remained opaque to light, like a thick, cosmic fog that scattered every photon before it could travel far. But slowly, gently, as the universe expanded and cooled, this fog began to clear. And when it did, light was finally free to travel across the cosmos. This moment, which scientists call the cosmic dawn, was when the universe became transparent, when light could finally journey from one end of creation to the other. It was light's first great freedom, its first opportunity to explore the infinite. As we drift deeper into this story, let us imagine the birth of the first stars. These ancient suns, born from clouds of hydrogen and helium, were the universe's first lighthouses. They gathered cosmic dust and gas into their gravitational embrace, compressing it until nuclear fusion ignited in their cores. These first stars were giants, magnificent, brilliant, and brief. They lived fast and died young, but in their brief existence, they created something precious. They forged the heavier elements that would become the building blocks of planets, of life, of you. And when they died, they did so in spectacular fashion, exploding as supernovae and scattering their stellar gifts across the cosmos. Picture these ancient stellar explosions as cosmic fireworks, each one a celebration of creation. The light from these supernovae traveled across the universe, some of it destined to reach Earth billions of years later. Some of that ancient starlight may have touched your eyes tonight, carrying with it the memory of stars that died before our sun was even born. The mythology of light's creation echoes across every culture on Earth. The ancient Greeks spoke of Helios, driving his chariot of fire across the sky. The Norse told of the sparks from Muspelheim that became the stars. In Hindu tradition, light emerged from the cosmic egg, Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb of creation. These stories, passed down through generations, speak to something deep within us. our recognition that light is sacred, that it connects us to something greater than ourselves. As you listen tonight, you're participating in humanity's oldest tradition, the sharing of stories by the light of stars. The Aboriginal Australians have a beautiful concept called Dreamtime, where the ancestors sang the world into existence. Their songs created the landscape, the animals, the stars. In a way, this ancient wisdom aligns with our modern understanding. The universe was indeed sung into existence by the vibrations of energy that became light. Let your breathing slow as we contemplate the incredible journey that began with those first photons. They have been traveling for billions of years, through the birth and death of countless stars, through the formation of galaxies, through the vast, silent spaces between worlds. Some of them have been journeying since before our solar system existed, carrying the memory of the universe's youth. And now, as you rest in comfort tonight, that same ancient light continues its eternal journey, streaming through your windows, reflecting off the moon, twinkling in the distant stars. You are bathed in light that has traveled across space and time to reach you, connecting you to the cosmic story that began with the first dawn of creation. Chapter 2. Light Meets Ancient Earth. As we drift deeper into our gentle journey, let us travel forward through time. 4.5 billion years ago, in a young solar system filled with cosmic dust and debris, a small, rocky planet was taking shape. This world, which would become our Earth, was nothing like the peaceful place we know tonight. Picture this ancient Earth, a world of fire and chaos, constantly bombarded by asteroids and comets. The surface was molten, the atmosphere thick with volcanic gases. And yet, even in this hostile environment, light from our young sun was beginning to find its way to this distant world. The sun itself was younger then, smaller and slightly dimmer than it is today. But its light was already beginning the long process of transformation that would make Earth the haven of life we know. As solar radiation bathed the planet, it began to drive the chemical processes that would eventually create the conditions for life. Slowly, gently, over millions of years, the Earth began to change. The planet's surface cooled, allowing water vapor to condense. The first rains fell, not for days or weeks, but for centuries. These ancient rains, driven by the sun's energy, began to fill the low places, creating the first oceans. Imagine these primordial seas, vast and dark, but touched by the gentle caress of sunlight. The water absorbed the sun's energy, warming and cooling in endless cycles. And in this dance between light and water, the stage was set for life's first appearance. As you rest tonight, picture yourself floating in these ancient waters, feeling the warmth of the young sun on your face, watching the interplay of light and shadow beneath the waves. The water is crystal clear, untouched by any living thing, and the sunlight penetrates deep, creating columns of golden luminescence in the depths. The Earth's early atmosphere was very different from the one we breathe today. There was no oxygen, no ozone layer to filter the sun's radiation. But gradually, as the planet continued to evolve, this began to change. Volcanic activity released gases that would eventually form our atmosphere. And most importantly, the perfect distance from the sun created what we now call the Goldilocks zone. Not too hot, not too cold, but just right for liquid water to exist. It was in this perfect balance that life first appeared. The earliest living things were simple, microscopic organisms that floated in the ancient seas. But even these primitive life forms had a relationship with light. They used chemical processes to harness the sun's energy, beginning the long journey toward photosynthesis. Let your mind drift as we imagine these first living things. Tiny, translucent, pulsing gently with the rhythm of life. They were the Earth's first children, born from the marriage of starlight and water. And in their simple existence, they began to change the world. Some of these early organisms, called cyanobacteria, developed the ability to capture sunlight directly. They learned to use the sun's energy to split water molecules, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. This was perhaps the most important moment in Earth's history. The beginning of photosynthesis, the process that would eventually fill our atmosphere with the oxygen that makes complex life possible. Picture these ancient organisms as tiny solar panels, floating in the primordial seas. Each one a miniature miracle, converting sunlight into the building blocks of life. They were the Earth's first gardeners, slowly but surely transforming the planet's atmosphere and creating the conditions that would allow more complex life to evolve. As billions of years passed, the Earth's relationship with light continued to evolve. The ozone layer formed, filtering out harmful radiation while allowing beneficial light to reach the surface. The planet's magnetic field deflected dangerous cosmic rays, creating a protective bubble around our world. Ancient civilizations looked up at the daily miracle of sunrise and sunset with wonder and reverence. They saw in the sun's journey across the sky a divine presence, a source of life and renewal. The Egyptians worshipped Ra, the sun god, who sailed across the heavens in his golden boat. The Aztecs honored Huitzilopochtli, the god of the sun and war. The Japanese revered Amaterasu, the sun goddess who brought light to the world. These ancient peoples understood something profound about light, that it was not just illumination, but the very essence of life itself. They built their temples and monuments to capture and celebrate the sun's light. Think of Stonehenge, perfectly aligned to mark the summer solstice, or the pyramids of Giza, positioned to catch the first rays of dawn. As you settle deeper into comfort tonight, imagine yourself as one of these ancient observers, standing on a hill at dawn, watching the sun rise over a world that was already ancient even then. The light that touches your face is the same light that has been nurturing life on Earth for billions of years. You are connected to every living thing that has ever basked in the sun's warmth. The Greeks spoke of Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods to give to humanity. In many ways, this myth captures the essence of our relationship with light. We are the inheritors of stellar fire, the beneficiaries of nuclear fusion happening 93 million miles away. Every breath you take, every beat of your heart, is powered by the light of our star. Indigenous peoples around the world have always understood this connection. The Lakota speak of Midikuyoyasin, all my relations, recognizing that we are connected to all life through the web of energy that flows from the sun. The Aboriginal Australians see the sun as a campfire around which all life gathers. These ancient wisdoms remind us that we are not separate from the natural world, but part of it. As Earth's atmosphere continued to evolve, it developed the ability to scatter sunlight in beautiful ways. The blue of the sky comes from the scattering of shorter wavelengths of light. The reds and oranges of sunset occur when light must travel through more atmosphere, filtering out the blues and leaving the warmer colors to paint the evening sky. Let your breathing deepen as we contemplate this ancient dance between light and atmosphere. Every sunset you've ever admired, every blue sky that has lifted your spirits, is the result of this perfect relationship between our star and our world. You are witnessing the same phenomenon that has been painting the sky for billions of years. Chapter 3: The Science of Seeing. As we continue our gentle journey through the story of light, let us turn our attention to perhaps the most miraculous part of all, the evolution of sight itself. How did life on Earth develop the ability to capture and interpret light? How did simple organisms learn to see? Close your eyes now and imagine the first primitive eye. Nothing more than a small patch of cells that could detect the difference between light and dark. This simple beginning, which appeared in the ancient seas hundreds of millions of years ago, would eventually evolve into the complex organs of vision we possess today. The story of sight is one of the most beautiful examples of evolution's gentle artistry. Over millions of years, what began as simple light-sensitive cells gradually developed into more sophisticated structures. A slight indentation formed, creating a cup shape that could better determine the direction of light. A lens developed to focus light more precisely. And eventually, the complex eyes of fish, birds, and mammals emerged. But let us not rush through this incredible journey. Instead, let us drift slowly through the eons, watching as life learned to see. Picture ancient trilobites, some of the first creatures to develop compound eyes. These fascinating beings, which lived in the oceans over 500 million years ago, had eyes made of calcite crystals. They could see underwater with remarkable clarity, using the same mineral that makes up limestone to create their biological lenses. As you rest tonight, imagine yourself as one of these ancient sea creatures, floating in the warm, shallow seas of the Cambrian period. Your compound eyes, made of hundreds of tiny lenses, give you a mosaic view of the world. You can see the play of sunlight on the water's surface, the shadows of other creatures moving nearby, the gentle dance of marine plants in the current. The development of vision was a revolution in the history of life. Suddenly, creatures could hunt more effectively, avoid predators, find mates, and navigate their environment with unprecedented precision. This led to what scientists call the Cambrian explosion, a period of rapid evolution when life forms diversified at an incredible rate. But how does vision actually work? Let us explore this gently, as if we were floating inside your own eye. Light enters through the cornea, that clear, curved window at the front of your eye. It's like a perfect crystal dome, precisely shaped to begin the process of focusing light. The light then passes through the pupil, that dark opening in the center of your iris. Your iris, with its beautiful colors, brown, blue, green, hazel, acts like the aperture of a camera, expanding and contracting to control how much light enters your eye. In bright light, your pupil becomes smaller, protecting the delicate structures inside. In dim light, it opens wide, gathering every available photon. Behind the pupil lies the lens, a remarkable structure that can change its shape to focus light perfectly. When you look at something far away, tiny muscles relax, allowing the lens to become flatter. When you focus on something close, these muscles contract, making the lens more curved. This happens automatically, without any conscious effort on your part. The focused light then passes through the vitreous humor, the clear, jelly-like substance that fills most of your eye. This transparent medium maintains the eye's shape and allows light to pass through unimpeded. It's like looking through the clearest, purest water, completely invisible to the light passing through it. Finally, the light reaches the retina, the true miracle of vision. This thin layer of tissue at the back of your eye contains over 100 million light-sensitive cells called photoreceptors. These cells come in two types, rods and cones. The rods are sensitive to dim light and help you see in darkness. The cones detect color and fine detail, allowing you to see the full spectrum of visible light. Let your mind rest as we imagine these photoreceptors at work. Each one is like a tiny solar panel, converting light into electrical signals. When light hits a photoreceptor, it triggers a cascade of chemical reactions that ultimately creates an electrical impulse. These impulses travel along the optic nerve to your brain, where they are interpreted as images. The brain's role in vision is perhaps even more remarkable than the eye itself. The visual cortex, located at the back of your brain, processes these electrical signals and creates the coherent, three-dimensional image of the world that you see. It fills in blind spots, enhances edges, recognizes patterns, and creates the seamless visual experience of your daily life. Consider this miraculous process. Light that may have traveled millions of miles from distant stars, or 8 minutes from our sun, enters your eye and is instantly converted into electrical signals. Your brain then interprets these signals, creating the image of the world around you. You are literally seeing with light that has journeyed across the cosmos to reach you. The speed of this process is breathtaking. From the moment light enters your eye to the moment your brain creates an image takes only a few milliseconds. Yet in that brief instant, millions of photoreceptors fire, thousands of nerve signals travel to your brain, and countless neural connections work together to create your perception of reality. Ancient scholars wondered about the nature of vision. The Greek philosopher Empedocles believed that the eye emitted rays of light that illuminated objects. Plato thought that vision occurred when rays from the eye met rays from the sun. It wasn't until the Islamic Golden Age that scholars like Ibn al-Haytham correctly understood that we see because light reflects off objects and enters our eyes. Ibn al-Haytham, known in the West as al-Hazan, was perhaps the first true scientist of optics. Working in the 11th century, he conducted careful experiments with light and vision. He used dark rooms with small holes to study how light behaved, essentially creating the first camera obscura. His work laid the foundation for our modern understanding of vision and optics. As you settle deeper into relaxation, let us contemplate the gift of sight. Every morning when you open your eyes, you are witnessing the culmination of billions of years of evolution. The ability to see is not just a biological function, but a connection to the cosmos itself. You are using ancient starlight to navigate your world, to appreciate beauty, to connect with others. The human eye can detect an incredible range of light. From the faintest star visible on a clear night to the brilliant sun at midday. Your eyes automatically adjust to these vastly different light levels, allowing you to see clearly in almost any situation. This dynamic range is far superior to any camera or artificial sensor. Color vision is another remarkable gift. While many animals see only in black and white, or in limited color ranges, humans have trichromatic vision. We have 3 types of cone cells, each sensitive to different wavelengths of light. This allows us to see millions of different colors, from the deep blues of the ocean to the vibrant reds of a sunset. The evolution of color vision in primates is thought to have been driven by the need to find ripe fruits among green leaves. This ability to distinguish subtle differences in color gave our ancestors a survival advantage. And today, it allows us to appreciate the full spectrum of beauty in the world around us. Even the flaws in our vision tell a story of evolution. The blind spot in each eye, where the optic nerve connects to the retina, is a reminder of how our eyes developed. But our brains compensate for this blind spot so effectively that we're normally unaware of it. This is just one example of how our visual system has evolved to give us the best possible perception of the world. As we drift toward the end of this chapter, let us pause to appreciate the incredible journey that light takes to reach your perception. From the nuclear fusion in the sun's core, through 93 million miles of space, through Earth's atmosphere, into your eye, and finally to your brain. This journey, which takes just over 8 minutes, connects you directly to the cosmic processes that power our universe. Tonight, as you rest, know that your eyes are closed to the physical world, but your mind can still journey through the realm of light and vision. In your dreams, you may see colors that don't exist in waking life, or witness impossible landscapes illuminated by imaginary suns. Even in sleep, your visual cortex continues to create images, reminding you that the gift of sight extends far beyond the physical act of seeing. Chapter 4. Light Through History. As we continue our gentle drift through the story of light, let us journey through human history. Watching as our understanding of light slowly evolved from mystery to science, from mythology to mathematics. This is a story of curiosity, of brilliant minds reaching toward understanding, of the gradual illumination of one of nature's greatest mysteries. Picture ancient Greece, where the first philosophers began to wonder about the nature of light and vision. Under the Mediterranean sun, in marble courtyards and olive groves, thinkers like Empedocles and Plato pondered the question that would fascinate humanity for millennia. How do we see? Empedocles, writing in the 5th century BCE, proposed that the eye emitted rays of light that illuminated objects. He imagined that Aphrodite had lit a fire within the eye, and that this inner light allowed us to see the world. It was a poetic idea, born of wonder and imagination, even if it wasn't quite correct. Plato, the great philosopher, had his own theory. He believed that vision occurred when rays from the eye met rays from the sun and other light sources. In his dialogue, Timaeus, he described sight as a gentle fire that streamed from the eyes. This emission theory of vision would persist for centuries, a testament to the power of logical reasoning even when based on incomplete observation. But it was Aristotle who began to move closer to the truth. He questioned whether the eye could really emit light, pointing out that we cannot see in complete darkness. He proposed instead that vision occurred when light from external sources reached the eye. This was a crucial step toward understanding the true nature of sight. As you rest tonight, imagine yourself in the Library of Alexandria, that great center of ancient learning. The Mediterranean sun streams through high windows, illuminating scrolls and manuscripts that contain the collected wisdom of the ancient world. Scholars from across the known world gather here to study, to debate, to push the boundaries of human knowledge. It was here, and in similar centers of learning, that the study of optics began to flourish. The mathematician Euclid wrote about the geometry of light, describing how light rays travel in straight lines. He laid the mathematical foundation for understanding reflection and refraction, the bending of light as it passes from one medium to another. But perhaps the most revolutionary thinker of this era was Ptolemy, the great astronomer and mathematician. He conducted systematic experiments with light, carefully measuring how light rays bend when they pass through different materials. He was among the first to approach the study of light with true scientific rigor, combining observation with mathematics to understand the natural world. As we drift deeper into history, let us travel to the Islamic Golden Age. In the great cities of Baghdad, Cairo, and Cordoba, scholars preserved and expanded upon the knowledge of the ancients. They translated Greek texts, conducted new experiments, and made discoveries that would remain unsurpassed for centuries. The greatest of these scholars was Ibn al-Haytham, known in the West as Al-Hazen. Working in the 11th century, he revolutionized our understanding of light and vision. In his Book of Optics, he definitively proved that vision occurs when light enters the eye from external sources, not when the eye emits light as the ancients believed. Picture Al-Hazen in his study, surrounded by lenses and mirrors, carefully conducting experiments with light. He used dark rooms with small openings to study how light behaved, creating what we now call camera obscura. He observed how light from outside objects projected inverted images on the wall of his darkened room. This was the first step toward understanding how the eye forms images. Al-Hazen's work was revolutionary not just for its conclusions, but for its methodology. He emphasized the importance of experimentation over pure reasoning. He tested his theories, measured his results, and drew conclusions based on evidence rather than philosophical speculation. In many ways, he was the first true scientist of optics. His influence spread throughout the Islamic world and eventually to Europe. His Book of Optics was translated into Latin and became one of the most important scientific texts of the medieval period. European scholars like Roger Bacon and Robert Grosseteste built upon his work, gradually advancing our understanding of light. As you settle deeper into comfort, let us journey to the Renaissance, that great flowering of art and science. In the workshops of Leonardo da Vinci and the laboratories of Galileo, a new understanding of light began to emerge. Artists learned to use light and shadow to create the illusion of three-dimensional space on flat surfaces. Scientists began to understand the properties of lenses and mirrors. Leonardo da Vinci, that universal genius, made careful observations about light and vision. He dissected eyes to understand their structure, studied the way light creates shadows, and explored the phenomenon of perspective. His notebooks contain detailed drawings of the eye's anatomy and thoughtful observations about how vision works. In his scientific journals, Leonardo wrote, "The eye sees no object entirely because the light that comes from the object to the eye comes in a straight line." This simple observation, based on careful study, helped advance our understanding of how sight works. He understood that light travels in straight lines, and that the eye receives light rather than emitting it. The Renaissance also saw the development of better lenses, which led to the invention of eyeglasses, telescopes, and microscopes. These tools opened up new worlds of observation. Galileo used his telescope to study the moon, the planets, and the stars. He observed the phases of Venus, the moons of Jupiter, and the detailed structure of the lunar surface. Picture Galileo on a clear night, peering through his telescope at the moon. The instrument he's using is essentially a sophisticated arrangement of lenses that gather and focus light. As he adjusts the focus, the moon's surface comes into sharp detail. He can see craters, mountains, and valleys. He realizes that the moon is not a perfect sphere as the ancients believed, but a world with its own geography. These observations were revolutionary. They showed that the heavens were not perfect and unchanging, but physical places that could be studied and understood. They demonstrated the power of using light and lenses to extend human vision beyond its natural limits. The 17th century brought even greater advances in our understanding of light. Sir Isaac Newton, perhaps the greatest scientist who ever lived, conducted groundbreaking experiments with light and color. In his darkened laboratory, he allowed a beam of sunlight to pass through a glass prism, separating white light into its component colors. Imagine Newton in his study, watching in wonder as the prism splits sunlight into a rainbow of colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. He realizes that white light is not pure, but a mixture of all colors. He conducts further experiments, using a second prism to recombine the colors back into white light, proving that the prism doesn't create colors but simply separates them. This discovery revolutionized our understanding of light and color. Newton showed that color is not a property of objects themselves, but a property of light. A red apple appears red because it absorbs all colors except red, which it reflects to our eyes. This insight laid the foundation for our modern understanding of color and light. Newton also proposed that light consists of tiny particles, which he called corpuscles. This particle theory of light explained many phenomena, like reflection and refraction. But it couldn't explain everything, and it would eventually be challenged by other theories. The 18th and 19th centuries saw fierce debates about the nature of light. Was it made of particles, as Newton believed, or was it a wave, as proposed by scientists like Christian Huygens? This fundamental question would occupy some of the greatest minds in science for centuries. The wave theory gained support from experiments by Thomas Young, who demonstrated that light could interfere with itself, creating patterns of brightness and darkness. This interference is a property of waves, not particles. Young's double-slit experiment showed that light passing through two narrow openings creates an interference pattern, suggesting that light behaves like a wave. But just when it seemed the wave theory had triumphed, new discoveries complicated the picture. In the early 20th century, Albert Einstein showed that light sometimes behaves like particles, which came to be called photons. This led to the modern understanding of wave-particle duality. Light behaves both as a wave and as a particle, depending on how we observe it. As you rest tonight, let your mind drift through this incredible journey of discovery. From the ancient Greeks to Einstein, humanity has gradually unraveled the mysteries of light. Each generation built upon the work of the previous one, slowly illuminating our understanding of this fundamental force of nature. The story of light through history is also the story of human curiosity and perseverance. It shows how knowledge grows through careful observation, experimentation, and the willingness to question accepted wisdom. It demonstrates that understanding the natural world is one of humanity's greatest achievements. Consider how far we've come. From believing that the eye emits light to understanding the quantum nature of photons. From thinking that white light is pure to knowing that it contains all colors. From crude oil lamps to LED lighting. From the naked eye to the Hubble Space Telescope. Each advance in our understanding of light has opened new possibilities for human knowledge and experience. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, you are surrounded by the fruits of this long journey of discovery. The electric lights in your home are based on our understanding of how materials emit light when heated or excited. The screens you use to read and communicate rely on our knowledge of how to control and manipulate light. Even the simple act of looking out a window involves principles of optics that took centuries to understand. As we prepare to move to the next chapter of our journey, let us pause to appreciate the incredible legacy of human curiosity about light. Every scientist, philosopher, and thinker who contributed to our understanding was driven by the same sense of wonder that you might feel when watching a sunset or seeing starlight. They were all part of the same quest to understand our place in the cosmos and our connection to the light that surrounds us. Chapter 5. The Spectrum of Wonder. As we drift into the final chapter of our luminous journey, let us explore the most beautiful secret of light, the hidden rainbow that surrounds us always, invisible to our eyes but present in every beam of sunlight, every electric bulb, every distant star. This is the story of the electromagnetic spectrum, the vast family of light that extends far beyond what we can see. Close your eyes and imagine yourself floating in a world where you could see all forms of light. Not just the visible colors, but the invisible radiations that permeate everything around you. Radio waves from distant galaxies, microwaves from the cosmic background radiation, infrared heat from warm objects, ultraviolet light from the sun, X-rays from stellar explosions, and gamma rays from the most violent events in the universe. But let us begin with what we can see. The visible spectrum, that narrow band of electromagnetic radiation that our eyes have evolved to detect. It spans from red light, with wavelengths of about 700 nanometers, to violet light, at about 400 nanometers. This represents just a tiny fraction of the full electromagnetic spectrum, like a single octave in an infinite symphony. Picture a beam of sunlight passing through a prism in a quiet room. As the light bends and separates, it reveals its hidden nature. Red light bends the least, violet light bends the most, and between them lies the familiar rainbow. Orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo. Each color corresponds to a different wavelength of light, a different frequency of electromagnetic vibration. Red light has the longest wavelengths we can see. It's the color of sunset, of roses, of warmth and passion. Red light can penetrate farther through Earth's atmosphere than other colors, which is why the sun appears red when it's low on the horizon. The longer wavelengths of red light are less likely to be scattered by dust and water vapor in the air. As you rest tonight, imagine yourself wrapped in gentle red light, feeling its warmth, its peaceful energy. Red light has been used for thousands of years to create feelings of comfort and security. It's the color of firelight, of glowing embers, of the soft light that doesn't disturb our natural sleep rhythms. Moving through the spectrum, we encounter orange light, the color of autumn leaves, of campfires, of the warm glow of candlelight. Orange light has a frequency that resonates with feelings of joy and creativity. It's the color of sunset clouds, of marigolds, of the gentle flames that have provided light and warmth to humanity throughout history. Yellow light comes next, the color of sunlight at midday, of daffodils, of gold and honey. Yellow light is in the middle of the visible spectrum, and it's the color to which our eyes are most sensitive. This is no accident. Our eyes evolved to be most sensitive to the wavelengths of light that are most abundant in sunlight. Green light occupies the center of the visible spectrum. It's the color of life, of growing things, of the chlorophyll that captures sunlight to power photosynthesis. When you walk through a forest, you're surrounded by green light that has been filtered through countless leaves. Each leaf acts like a tiny light processor, absorbing red and blue light for photosynthesis while reflecting green light to your eyes. Blue light has shorter wavelengths and higher energy. It's the color of the sky, of deep water, of distant mountains. Blue light scatters more than other colors as it passes through our atmosphere, which is why the sky appears blue during the day. This same scattering effect creates the blue haze that gives the Blue Ridge Mountains their name. Indigo and violet complete the visible spectrum. These colors have the shortest wavelengths and highest energies that we can see. Violet light borders on the invisible ultraviolet region. It's the color of deep twilight, of amethyst, of the mysterious light that appears just before the sun disappears below the horizon. But the visible spectrum is just the beginning. Beyond red light lies infrared radiation, which we experience as heat. Every warm object emits infrared light. Your body is glowing with infrared radiation right now, invisible to your eyes but detectable by special cameras. Infrared light is how we feel the warmth of the sun on our skin, even on a cold day. Imagine being able to see infrared light. You would see the heat patterns around you, the warm glow of living things, the thermal signature of every object. You would see the invisible dance of heat energy that surrounds us always. This is the light that snakes use to hunt, that satellites use to monitor weather patterns, that doctors use to study blood flow in the human body. Beyond infrared lies the realm of radio waves. These have wavelengths that can be meters or even kilometers long. Radio waves carry the signals that bring us music, news, and communication from around the world. They're the same electromagnetic radiation as visible light, just with much longer wavelengths. As you settle deeper into relaxation, picture radio waves from distant galaxies washing over you. Signals from pulsars, those spinning neutron stars that act like cosmic lighthouses. Radio emissions from the center of our galaxy, from other galaxies, from the cosmic background radiation left over from the Big Bang. You are constantly bathed in radio waves from the cosmos, invisible messengers carrying information about the universe. On the other side of the visible spectrum, beyond violet light, lies ultraviolet radiation. This high-energy light can damage living tissue, which is why we need protection from the sun's UV rays. But ultraviolet light also has beneficial effects. It helps our bodies produce vitamin D, it sterilizes surfaces, and it reveals hidden patterns in flowers that guide pollinating insects. If you could see ultraviolet light, the world would look very different. Many flowers have ultraviolet patterns that are invisible to us but clearly visible to bees and other pollinators. These patterns act like landing strips, guiding insects to the nectar. Birds can see ultraviolet light, which helps them find food and identify potential mates. Beyond ultraviolet lies the realm of X-rays. These high-energy photons can penetrate soft tissue but are absorbed by bone and metal. X-rays from space tell us about the violent processes occurring in the universe. Black holes, neutron stars, and supernovae all emit X-rays. Our atmosphere protects us from most cosmic X-rays, but space-based telescopes can detect them and use them to study the most extreme environments in the universe. At the highest energies lie gamma rays, the most powerful form of electromagnetic radiation. Gamma rays are produced by nuclear reactions, by the decay of radioactive elements, and by the most violent events in the cosmos. A gamma ray burst from a distant galaxy can release more energy in a few seconds than our sun will produce in its entire lifetime. But let us return to the gentler aspects of the spectrum, to the beautiful phenomena that visible light creates in our world. Think of a rainbow, that perfect arc of color that appears when sunlight and rain combine. Each drop of water acts like a tiny prism, separating sunlight into its component colors. The result is one of nature's most beautiful displays, a reminder that white light contains all colors within it. Consider the aurora borealis, the northern lights. This spectacular display occurs when charged particles from the sun interact with Earth's magnetic field and atmosphere. The particles excite atoms in the upper atmosphere, causing them to emit light. Oxygen atoms produce green and red light. Nitrogen atoms produce blue and purple. The result is a shimmering curtain of color that dances across the polar skies. If you've ever seen the aurora, you know how magical it can be. The lights seem to flow and pulse like living things, painting the sky with impossible colors. Inuit peoples have many stories about the aurora. Some say it's the spirits of the dead dancing in the sky, others say it's the light reflected from the ice and snow of the far north. The aurora reminds us that Earth itself is part of the cosmic light show. Our planet is constantly interacting with radiation from the sun and from deep space. We're protected by our atmosphere and magnetic field, but we're also connected to the cosmic environment through the electromagnetic spectrum. As you prepare for sleep tonight, let your mind drift through the full spectrum of light, from the longest radio waves to the shortest gamma rays. This invisible rainbow surrounds you always, carrying information about the universe, energy from the stars, and the subtle interactions between matter and radiation that make life possible. Even in the darkness of your bedroom, you are surrounded by light, infrared radiation from warm objects, radio waves from distant transmitters, cosmic background radiation from the Big Bang. You are part of the electromagnetic symphony that fills the universe, a conscious observer in the vast web of light and energy that connects all things. The spectrum of light is truly a spectrum of wonder. It reveals the hidden connections between all things, the invisible energies that flow through space and time, the quantum nature of reality itself. From the warmth of infrared to the power of gamma rays, from the colors of the rainbow to the radio whispers of galaxies, light in all its forms surrounds us and flows through us. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, you can rest in the knowledge that you are part of this cosmic light show. Your body is warm with infrared radiation, your eyes have evolved to see the beautiful colors of the visible spectrum, and your very atoms were forged in the hearts of ancient stars. You are made of light, surrounded by light, and connected to the universe through the eternal dance of electromagnetic radiation. Closing journey. As our gentle journey through the story of light draws to a close, let us take a moment to reflect on the incredible path we've traveled together. From the first spark of creation in the Big Bang to the complex dance of photons in your eyes, from ancient starlight to the warm glow of your bedside lamp, we have witnessed the most beautiful story in the universe. Close your eyes now and let yourself drift back through time. Picture those first photons, born in the cosmic dawn, beginning their eternal journey through space. They traveled for billions of years, through the birth and death of countless stars, through the formation of galaxies, through the vast, silent spaces between worlds. Some of that ancient light has found its way to Earth, streaming through our atmosphere, warming our planet, nurturing the first spark of life in the primordial seas. That same light drove the evolution of sight, the development of the human eye, the complex neural networks that allow you to perceive the world around you. Tonight, as you rest in darkness, you are surrounded by the gentle presence of light. It flows through the windows from streetlights and stars. It radiates from warm objects as infrared energy. It carries radio signals from across the globe and beyond. You are never truly alone, for you are always bathed in the cosmic light that connects all things. Think of the incredible journey that every photon has taken to reach you. Light from the sun has traveled 93 million miles in just over 8 minutes. Light from the nearest star beyond our sun has journeyed for over 4 years. Light from distant galaxies has been traveling for billions of years, carrying with it the memory of the universe's youth. When you look up at the night sky, you are not just seeing stars, you are seeing time itself. The light from each star left its source years, decades, centuries, or millennia ago. You are looking into the past, witnessing the universe as it was when that light began its journey. In a very real sense, you are a time traveler, using light as your vehicle to explore the cosmos. The ancient light that reaches your eyes tonight has witnessed the birth of solar systems, the formation of planets, the evolution of life on countless worlds. It carries within it the story of the universe. The tale of how simple hydrogen and helium, forged in the first moments after the Big Bang, became the complex elements that make up your body, your world, your dreams. As you settle into the comfort of your bed, let yourself feel the connection to this cosmic story. You are not separate from the universe. You are part of it. The calcium in your bones was forged in ancient supernovae. The iron in your blood was created in the heart of a dying star. The oxygen you breathe was produced by countless generations of plants using the power of sunlight. You are made of stardust, animated by starlight, connected to the cosmos through the eternal dance of electromagnetic radiation. Every breath you take, every heartbeat, every thought and dream is powered by the nuclear fire of our sun. You are a temporary arrangement of atoms that were born in the hearts of stars, and you will return to the cosmos when your time is done. But tonight, in this moment, you are here, a conscious observer in the vast web of light and energy that fills the universe. You have the remarkable ability to see, to perceive, to wonder about the nature of light and your place in the cosmic story. This is perhaps the greatest miracle of all, that the universe has evolved the ability to observe itself through your eyes. The story of light is ultimately the story of connection. It shows us that we are not isolated beings on a lonely planet, but part of a vast, interconnected web of energy and information. The light that allows you to see connects you to the sun, to the stars, to the cosmic background radiation that fills all of space. You are part of the story of creation itself. As you prepare for sleep, let yourself rest in the knowledge that you are held in the gentle embrace of the cosmos. The same forces that created the first stars and galaxies are at work in your body right now. The same light that has been traveling through space for billions of years is what allows you to see the world, to read these words, to experience the beauty of creation. Your dreams tonight may be filled with colors that don't exist in waking life, with impossible landscapes lit by imaginary suns. But even in sleep, you remain connected to the cosmic light show. Your brain continues to process the day's visual experiences, creating new images and stories from the light that has entered your eyes. When you wake tomorrow morning, you will once again open your eyes to the gift of sight. The first light of dawn will carry with it the same message it has carried for billions of years, that you are part of the universe, that you are connected to all things through the eternal dance of light and energy. The ancient light that reaches you tomorrow will be different from the light that reached you today. It will carry new information, new energy, new possibilities. Each day brings a fresh supply of photons from the sun. Each sunset paints the sky with a unique palette of colors. Each night reveals a slightly different arrangement of stars. You are a participant in the ongoing story of light. Every day you see something new, experience something beautiful, share the gift of sight with the people around you. You are part of humanity's long journey of discovery, part of the cosmic story that began with a Big Bang and continues through your own life and experiences. As you drift into sleep tonight, carry with you the wonder of this journey. Remember that you are made of light, surrounded by light, connected to the universe through the invisible threads of electromagnetic radiation. You are a temporary constellation of atoms, briefly organized in the pattern that is you, but forever part of the eternal dance of energy and matter that fills the cosmos. Rest now in the gentle embrace of the night. Let the darkness be not an absence of light, but a canvas for dreams. Let your sleeping mind wander through the spectrum of wonder, through the invisible rainbow that surrounds you always. And know that when you wake, you will once again be witness to the most beautiful story in the universe, the story of light itself. Sweet dreams, dear traveler. May your rest be peaceful, your dreams luminous, and your tomorrow filled with the gentle wonder of seeing the world through eyes that have evolved to capture starlight. The cosmos holds you in its embrace, and the light of ancient stars watches over you as you sleep. Until we meet again in the realm of dreams and wonder, rest well, for you are part of the light, and the light is part of you. Forever and always, in the eternal dance of photons and atoms, energy and consciousness, that is the story of the universe itself. Good night.